The fourth slot just got taken over now by a little rotating thing. So I need more slot. That's what it basically boils down to. Here, one time for no, you got me? What'd you get me? No, my food. I'm on that too. You said you was gonna give me some chicken. You said you was gonna let me get your car, so I'll go get us some chicken. I didn't know. Yes, I did. I'm hungry. Man, I mean, I got something else here to eat, but the principalities. Use my car, use my gas, buy my food. And after he said he was. It's what sons will do for you, man. It's for kids. That's how kids will do you. I don't know about you, Moose, but the last 8 days have been rough for me. I've been with this time change. uh, yeah, no. The guest we were supposed to have, I haven't heard from since earlier in the week. When I reached out to him, it was later. But when I reached, and you still there? Where? Oh, and then he gonna walk by with the food. Yeah, he's failing everybody. I guess I gotta eat some leftover meatballs. Meatballs. I guess that's what I'm gonna be having after the podcast. Can't get no chicken. Shut your door. I don't want to hear your mouth. But back to the guest. Yes, the guest we were supposed to have today. I talked to him earlier this week. He was good, but I haven't heard from him or seen him. If that helps with the guest at all this week, I know he's had some personal stuff going on, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Yeah, dealing with some stuff, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm auto playing Masters now. I just finished auto playing Heroic yesterday. And for that and just initial completions, that's all I care about is for the units. It's too much work for the rest of it. What's going on, Aiden, aka Ghost Dog's FBI agent? Aiden. If you're ever in my Discord, uh, if you ever see Ghost Dog's FBI agent, that's Aiden. I'm sure. My Colts put up a stinker the second half of the game. I just did that, man. Did both. Oh, it's made that rough for Seattle. I yeah, but we're not talking about podcast stuff yet. I can mumble football stuff. You will have my full undivided attention because I'm pissed at football today. Pissed at football today. Colts just put up a stinker in the second half, man. terrible, terrible. And although my Irish did pull out a double overtime win versus the number one team. On the Twitterverse. Wakanda Forever. Played some Among Us with my family last night, so that was fun. Swagger did too. Which will probably get Swagger on next week, right? What's going on, Jax? Nick. Hey, Nick. Guess who I still don't have yet. But I'm going to be doing a crystal opening video this afternoon, so there's that. Thank you. I'll watch a Lags free to play account. Yeah, that's been a pretty interesting journey so far for him. He's having a lot of fun doing it. I'm pretty sure that because he has nothing to do on his main account is why it's definitely fun for him. Oh yeah. Oh nice. I unsubscribed from this Daily Mail. I'm good.
Now recording.
Pull up a chair in the Marvel Champions Lounge and join your host, Moose and GhostDog.
I didn't know we were ready. I didn't hear any music. Heard zero music. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I got a lot of great news this week, so I'm good. I know what you were laughing at. I know exactly what you were laughing at. We're not talking about that right now. Is there a way to mute people on Discord? Is there a way to hide them for a little while? Let me see. Can I hide him. More options. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch. Boop. Boop. Oh, where did they go? Yeah, they were yesterday. They were yesterday. I grabbed two earlier this week. Got two. I had enough shards to get two more after doing some incursions yesterday. I was able to. Uh, I was able to do. I'm reading Nick's message. Yeah, I was able to get two more. Uh, so I'll have four of those open, along with some Monster Hunter crystals that I still had left over. I, yeah, he'd be a nice addition to my team. Right. Yeah, yeah, we got forewarned. I mean, it's not that we didn't already know, but we knew. Uh, but yeah, we were told beforehand too. Just right, it wasn't much before. Yep. Oh, really? Yeah, still some good rewards. The initial completion for that had a really good payout. So yeah, I mean, like it almost makes the exploration. I mean, they're cool. It's got some good rewards, but the completion of it was definitely the better part of that particular variant. It was a 10 percenter or 25 percenter or something like that. I have not bought them yet. They're like 70,000 gamma per one, um, and I haven't collected that much because I started with Cavalier difficulty, which did not have the gamma in it, which was a mistake, which we'll probably go into a little bit later on. Uh, but so yeah, no. So far, I've purchased a lot of um, 5-star shards, some T2 alpha shards, and some T1 alpha. So we're looking probably a lot of the rake up material and the opening of crystals so I can get more crystals. But yeah, eventually I want to save up for some of those. If I can get all five, that would need what, 3,500 roughly, 35,000, 350,000. Yeah, that's the number. 350,000 gamma. That's a lot of gamma saved up to purchase all five of those tier five class catalysts.
For sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Um. Yeah. No. Though. So we were kind of we were on the, we yeah we were kind of we veered off there, which we'll definitely get into. Um. But yeah, so no, I'm definitely the side event definitely looks it's a good one. It's rewarding. It's what I think a side event should be. But yeah, we'll definitely get into that kind of after we do this. But yeah, then so the Act 6 update, they said released. And all the things they did list here as far as this goes. So the Act 6 update, they put release next to it. A whole host of rebalancing, fight improvements, and big injections of fun have been rolled out into Act 6 as promised. The champion, attack reduction, and fight reworks have all been changed. Now, it's kind of seeming as if they're done. Are they done?
Are we not? I think we still have one more small tweak supposed to come out.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't know. There's still some stuff out there that still seems pretty difficult. Somebody posted, I think it was Wade Thrilson posted the other day on Twitter. It was like they switched out the Iceman in 6.3 or 6.4 somewhere for a Havoc, and the nodes that were on it really just limited the champs even more on it. So it seemed, I don't know. So that just to me, as far as them just limiting it, it seemed they had a very fair case for the fact that it limited it. I don't understand that to me it was like, okay, I don't think they're done, but like you're saying, they may still be coming out with another tune-up or something like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, the changes that they have made do, I think, make it very, at least a lot more tolerable. Have you? I know you were doing Act 6 a lot when you were, kind of on vacation and not in an alliance and stuff. Mm-hmm. Have you been doing it much lately after that?
I finished 6-1 right at the end of the season, right before the season started. I can't remember. Right at the end of last month, I finished 6-1. So I will start 6-2 once I get through. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do just Cavalier, if I'm going to do Cavalier 100% and only initial clear of uncollected, or if I'm going to go ahead 100% uncollected as well. I haven't decided yet, but somewhere along the lines, I'm going to hop back in Act 6 before the end of the month.
Okay, I was going to say, you're talking about this month. You were talking about what you're doing as far as the event quest goes. Cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I just rushed through the uncollected real quick and grabbed those gammas. So, but yeah, no. So yeah, no, I definitely think that the Act 6 changes and everything were, I guess they're nice. They're nice changes, and the kind of attack reduction, things like that. I don't know if like all of the like pain points as far as like 6.3 and 6.4 have been like addressed, but we'll, I guess, remain to see. Like you said, that we may still be seeing something.
Yeah,
so.
I think 6.3 and 6.4 is done. Okay. I think it's 6.1 and 6.2 or 6.1 that has not been touched yet completely, and so we may see something there.
Fair enough. Cool. So yeah, we'll see what happens, what further comes from that. But in kind of, I guess, the bigger news and what's coming after that, and December 9th seems to be their launch for Book 2, Chapter 1, and that's kind of exciting, right?
Yep.
Definitely looking forward to seeing that. I mean, they did, kind of the whole, where all this whole roadmap and everything came from, really, I think, was them putting out Book 2, as far as the beta goes, and just one after another of the top YouTubers just like, I'm done. The future of this game is going to be done. Like, just blah, 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 where they're going with it. So, so they pulled it back, did some reworking to it, definitely listened to the additional feedback and support that came from that beta and all that stuff. So, they are releasing the Book 2 as far as the changed version, on December 9th. So, are you looking forward to, do you plan on like kind of just tackling it as soon as it comes out, or?
No, usually how I do this is I usually focus on an act and get that act 100%. So I'll finish Act 6 100% before I move on to 7, just so that I feel like that I'm fully ready for whatever 7's got to offer for an initial clear.
Gotcha. No, I think that's a great way of tackling things. I know I did that a lot in the beginning of the game, and then I think the more time I spent in the game, I felt like I was behind, mainly just because I was a leader and busy doing all that kind of stuff. So I just always felt behind. So I felt like I always had to kind of just rush through and kind of get those initial clears also, so I knew what I was talking about when people ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, I'm going to go back into Act 6 and probably do 100%. I don't know if I'll get there before December 9th because, I'm not that I'm taking a break from the game, but I am focusing more on all the podcasts that I'm doing and the website and all that stuff. So, definitely looking forward to it, man.
Cool.
This new chapter, I guess, of me pushing towards the content and all that stuff is, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, the Cavalier difficulty that was released, and that was part of the next, that was part of their roadmap, was releasing the fact that we could get a Cavalier difficulty in the event quest, which, again, we can kind of keep continuing talking about it, but it's, it's cool, it's out there, and they are making changes, and their first release of it was not, kind of how it is, and they continue to make changes and updates. Like this month here had an update. So initially, how do you feel about the Cavalier difficulty and the past few months that we've had it?
I thought the first 2 months were long for an event quest, for something that's kind of like, it's not story mode, it's not part of our line stuff, but when you're out there doing it, it just felt like Cavalier difficulty initially. Be 100% clear of it was long. Like even this month, I literally did a 2.5 hour stream and only got through the first 5 parts of it. Okay. It just feels long. I get it. It's supposed to be higher health pools, more difficult modes, things like that. But maybe find a way to have a few less fights.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, and I was hoping that this month would be the one to doing it. And I guess I was watching Ilac do his clear and his 100%, and I asked him how long did it take him. He said about 8.5 hours is what he put in total. So about an hour and a half less than it would, hour and a half, 2 hours less than the month prior. It still feels really long. Like I feel like I could run through Cavalier or Uncollected difficulty in a few hours, 4 hours maybe. This one feels much, much longer.
Yeah. So what you said, 6 to 8 hours, and that was the 100% Cavalier difficulty?
It was 8.5 to 9 hours.
Oh, 8.5 to 9 hours. My apologies. Yeah. And that was the 100%.
That's 100% this month's difficulty. Yeah, which is probably down from the month prior. It was like 10, somewhere between 10 and 11 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that the buffs is a step in the right direction towards the like power technician and the mystic, just each class to each kind of one. I think that is definitely a step in the right direction because, like the power technician for the tech one is nice. Depending on the champ you have and stuff like that, it makes it fun and tolerable. Absolutely. But yeah, it definitely does seem... Like you said, yeah, it does seem to take long, so maybe taking some fights out would definitely, at least make it more fun. Especially when you're going to take out rewards, right? Like, when they don't have the gamma in there. And that was planned?
Not planned.
And they're just going to leave it?
It was an accident. They were supposed to do Cavalier difficultly down to Heroic, and it got put into normal through Uncollected. And so instead of going back and trying to pull all the gamma out of everybody's accounts, the gamma they shouldn't have got, and they just said, you know what? There it is. Due to difficulties, you're welcome. But yeah, it was definitely left out. It was not intentional.
Bullshit. Oh, fuck. Sorry.
No, I mean they came out and said it was not intended to be there, and it was going to be way more work to take it out to reset accounts.
Seems like a nice twist. Seems like a very I don't know. It seems convenient. Well, it seems like a convenient explanation.
People were worried because they were like, "Am I going to get banned because I got this gamma in normal and it's not supposed to be in normal?" And people were worried, and so they came out with it.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, all right. Well, so I mean that's how it happens. So at least it's all out there. So at the end of the day, you were going to get 1.9 mil regardless, if you did Cavalier or not. So cool, right? About 1.9 mil gamma or something like that. Yeah. But yeah. So the Cavalier difficulty, yeah, I think in my opinion, definitely needs to. They're making steps in the right direction. They're not, they're open about listening, and as Kabam Frenchie has said, they have not gone deaf to what we're saying and everything like that. So that's cool. That's a step in the right direction, and I'm excited for the future of Cavalier difficulty as long as they keep making strides towards, making it a pleasurable experience, I guess, right?
Right.
Cool. So yeah, the other kind of things that were on this list were Act 2 reward update, which woo, thanks, but that's cool for the people who are, when you're, I mean, it's creating like this weird kind of gap, and it has like this weird a gap, I guess is kind of the best way to say it, but like we even kind of talked about it with Dan from Frontline, I believe it was on XN. You just hit this wall, right, where you're just stuck. I think we actually was talking about it on this show with us. You just hit this wall of player progression where it's like, you can progress so fast, and I think with updating things like Act 2 rewards, that you're just making that more. So I hope, basically where I'm going with this is I hope that they continue, as far as like reward updating, there we go, the rewards in Act 2 and 4 and stuff like that as well, to kind of match, so there's not that wall, right? If that made any sense.
Yeah.
Are you still with us?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Cool. Yeah. So that was that. And then so Summer Smackdown, that was released and that was out and that was fun. I don't think I actually finished the Omega boss rush, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. It was definitely a grind.
Yeah. It was.
that last week of 31 fights, that was a grind.
It was. And they were tough. And for five, the only 5 champions. And like, I think we even went over it, and I even kept talking about it over and over again. Like, you had to be focused. You had to have all your champs. And
it essentially was like a mini lab or mini abyss type thing. Yeah.
For sure. So, and again, I haven't even like tackled those really for the most part. I've done my initial clear in Labyrinth, but that's it. So now, but that's, because I was leading and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to, kind of doing all that stuff. The other thing that, was supposed to come around in the summer and everything like that, but because there was the changes in Book 2 and just, kind of their plans got derailed, was the Summer of Pain, and that was pushed back. Now, there is no actual release date or any kind of thing in solid in play.
No, it's going to be the season of something whenever it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever season it comes out, yeah.
For sure. Cool, and that's, so what is it? It's just going to say it's with the SmackDown, Summer SmackDown, Wealth of Events, Act, Beta, and new back issues. We had a huge amount of content releasing over the summer and opt to set aside this for another time. We do have some cool fights with some designed by the content creator community. We're discussing next steps right now. We'll let you know soon, maybe Spring of Suffering. So that's cool. So do you have any sort of insider information? Have you heard anything on the content creator community participating in that event?
No.
Okay. Very solid no. Cool. So yeah, I mean that's all the quests, and that was the side. Basically since the summer and since the roadmap started, there was a ton of content that has been released in the game, and just really kind of in the game as itself has a whole lot of content. So, and that's just their right. So that's their kind of future of the quest.
Yeah.
Kind of roadmap update, and there's definitely a lot of content out there. I don't know, or I haven't seen. I was watching a video where somebody did kind of mention Variant 6 briefly. I was in the middle of doing something. Do you have any info on that?
Yeah, I thought when the initial, I think it might have been Rich who talked about Variant 6 in his video on this. And I thought when it initially was released, that was one of the things that was talked about was Variant 6.
Right.
And reading over it, I was like, I don't see anything about Variant 6.
Right.
There's a possibility that there may be a Variant 6 released in December as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, like I thought there was gonna be well, I guess they said they were gonna try to get one out.
They would
before
try
the
to
year
get
with
Variant
book
6 out
2.
before. Yeah, try. But here's the thing: if I'm launching book 2, there's no need for a Variant 6. Launch book 2, let book 2 be out for a month or two, and then launch Variant 6. No need to rush all that. They do it for the in-game players because people like you and I, we have plenty to do in the game.
Yeah.
But the people who rush through and just crush all the content as soon as it comes out, they don't have anything to do with the game. So that might be the reason why they might drop it as soon as you're planning on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, you might want to wait till after the holidays because I'm sure you're going to have deals, and then you're going to have the book 2, so you're probably going to be making money. So you might as well extend it after the holidays with Variant 6.
That'd be my thing. That's what I would do.
So that's looking forward to seeing that. The variants are always fun. The rewards are always very nice. I still have to 100% actually. I think 3 of them. Variant 1, 3, yeah, and the 5. So I still got a lot of stuff.
I haven't done 1 at all. I haven't touched 1. 2 I've only gotten part way through as far as the initial clear, and then I was like,
moving on.
Moving on. By that time, I was deep. Start working the Act 6 and stuff like that. Then the Abyss came out, and then I did get 3 came out, and I worked on getting 3 done. Then the Abyss came out. I was like, oh, the Abyss, and I got the champs for it. Let me go do that. Then more concerns with that, and then 4 came out, and 4 thought everybody thought 4 was cool. Got to use all the fun champs. 3 was the first one I 100% it. 4 was the next one. Then I did 5, and had fun there. Now I'm more focused on Act 6 stuff, trying to work on my 6-star roster. Whereas the variants are more for your 5-star rosters, and so I don't feel like going back. And that's my thought on it.
No,
but for those,
fair enough.
For those of you who are still developing your rosters, that's a great place to go develop your roster. Is the variant content.
Absolutely. I know. I think it was probably at the beginning of the year, or maybe towards the end of last year, when I was at a road point where it was like, okay, I have Labyrinth in front of me. I think all the variants in front of me, like Act 6. I think I was Cavalier, but then after that, I had everything else in front of me. And I remember really going in depth and doing a lot of research on which rewards, as far as what what rewards and how, like what resources I had to spend to get them, as far as what it was going to be. At Labyrinth, the initial clear was a great one just because of what it came through. But then it was variants, absolutely. Just clearing them, just getting those gems from 4 to 5s or 3 to 4s and things like that is definitely a quick boost to your roster, for sure. So definitely looking forward to getting all that stuff done, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the next kind of different variant 6. Act 4 or variant 4, I thought was really cool. How you had to use all the different champions. Frustrating that you kind of had to spend more on 1-star and units, or getting 1-star champion or 2-star champions than you did.
Well, if you sold them, yeah, you had to spend money, spend units to get them back. But if you didn't sell, I think
even in the game, you don't really have that much, or you don't develop them, or you don't get them that much.
Well, it depends. Yeah. If you're where we started, either you sold them or you kept them. I kept mine, and I developed some of mine. Most of them are max ranked.
For sure,
they're good to go. I was lucky that I didn't have to go, spend units to go get a Hulk to get through the Caustic Temper path with something else. But yeah, so I was lucky.
It sucked. Yeah, no, it wasn't good. I understand that. Yeah, I probably did at one point sell some champs before I knew what was good for me, what was good for my my roster. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to seeing what's coming in the future. As far as even just the maybe Spring of Suffering and Book 2. Looking forward to seeing all that. The rewards I think would be good. It'd be cool to see, and I know I'm nowhere near like you're saying. Probably going to do 100% Act 6 before I get to that, or sometime around there. So cool. So the other kind of parts on the roadmap were amping up alliances, which they just kind of had some new thing come in the game where you can poke people, and I know that's on here, and just other things like that. So one of the first things on here was battle group assignments, and that was released, and I think that's great. Being back as an officer, are you an officer now?
Oh God, no.
Oh, okay, I thought you jumped right back in.
No, sir. No, sir.
Fair enough.
I live every day to give my leader the most problems ever.
No, you know the pain that they go through. Don't do that.
No, I just give him crap.
Oh, okay. Fair.
I'm a very prompt person. I place my defense. I'm always in AQ. I'm always available for AW.
Gotcha.
He can tag me. He knows that I'm available. If I'm not available right then and there, I'll let him know. Like, hey, I'll be available XYZ. Try to get things done. But yeah,
you sound like a model Sumner.
Model Sumner. Yeah, pokes jokes at him whenever I can.
Nice, awesome. Who is the leader?
Afo. He's been on my streams a couple times.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Awesome. So being just a regular kind of Sumner, right? Model Sumner and everything like that. Just having the battle group assignments, having everything kind of like highlighted and all that stuff like that. Is that nice?
It is nice. The poke thing is kind of funny because then you see everybody. Most of us have Line or Discord that we're using for our alliances.
Exactly.
So it's like, just tag in here, but somebody will poke or alert the entire alliance that something's going on, and then someone will come back online and says, "Oh, you poked me," and shows a finger poking something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Did you see Ian Newby? He put out a tweet. He said, "I've never been poked by so many dudes before."
That is definitely.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that that whole mechanic, I think it's good. I think they're adding more things. Like tagging somebody in line, right? You're kind of poking them, like that's the same thing. So they're trying to get away from line and using those outside apps, which I'm actually not a fan of, because I think if you separate that, if you keep people from using those, you're separating people's ideas. People aren't talking.
Yeah, you're not as good as the game is making those advancements. It's not to the level of a line or a Discord for your alliance where you're chatting with your alliance mates, you're joshing back and forth with each other. Because so many things get censored in the game. If the word is too close to another word, it gets those little pound signs. You're like, I didn't say anything bad.
Right. And I'm never going to let it down. You can't, when they have hacks in the game and you get banned for using the word hacks and incursions, like you can't really trust the chat, right?
Can't trust the chat.
But yeah, so exactly. But I'm not a fan of it because I think one of the things that makes this game so awesome, and I think just 100% why I've played it as long as I have, is because of the community, because of how awesome everybody is in the community and talking with them and everything.
Honestly, anybody who's played it for a long time plays it more because of the people they've met in the game. Absolutely. They like playing with people they met, and they want to keep. And don't get me wrong, the game is fun. But I mean, if I didn't have my friends from the game that I met through the game, I probably would have quit the game a long time ago.
For sure.
It'd be somebody else talking to you guys today.
I was gonna say, like, exactly. I think if I didn't meet the people kind of just in the time that I was playing it and the community and all that stuff, I definitely wouldn't be playing it. Absolutely. I maybe have the game because it is fun. And I think just that's what initially drew me in was the fun factor, and it's like Street Fighter, and you can just pop in and out and just kind of throw a couple fighters. They're fun. So maybe I'd still have it just to kind of poke at here and there, but I definitely wouldn't be putting in the amount of hours I do each week.
Right.
And I think if you do take away, I don't think you're ever going to take away, because like we talked about last time, like the amount of things that are on the server and the things they have now, like it's just going to be awful. If they try to, kind of put more chat involvement in the game as opposed to Line and Discord, because Line and Discord are so great.
Yeah, there's already enough in the game that makes the game a problem. We don't need additional stuff.
Exactly. But I think if you take away everybody kind of, not even banding together, but you're sharing ideas, everybody's, you know, talking, you're sharing ideas, stuff like that. That's what makes a community great. Right. And I think if you separate that, the game's just not going to be fun. It'll be way too much like a business, like what Future Fight right now. That place just, that game's going in the tubes. And we don't want that. So, yes, the poke and all those, you know, kind of the battle group assignments and stuff like that are great additions. You know, for somebody like you have notifications on, correct?
For what?
For the game?
Certain notifications for the game.
Do you get, so like if you get poked, do you get a notification?
Yeah. I'll get the notification that so-and-so has poked you, or so-and-so has alerted the Alliance. The boss is open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, has it been nice? Has it been useful?
It's been fun to kind of see, like, oh, it actually works. It's not something that glitches the game out. That I can actually click on this when it opens the game. It'll actually tell me in the game, hey, so and so has done this. Do you want to go there? I click go there, and it takes me takes me into that area.
Okay,
it's kind of nice.
It's convenient. For sure.
Yeah, it's like it actually works.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just shut the game down when you're trying to help out your alliance or something. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's awesome. You know, especially if somebody's on a break, and you need, right? You just need to kind of pop out real quick for like 10 minutes, and you don't need to load or, you know, go through all the different screens if it brings you right to it.
Yep.
That's great. That's awesome. How is Moose in your game? Oh.
Yeah, I'm reading that. Like, how is
Moose in what game? In my game?
What game?
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think the more the things they're going to add and everything like that. So cool. So top alliance champions. Oh, so I haven't been in an alliance since this has been added to the game, where you put your top alliance, your top champions up and things like that. Is that useful at all in war for you guys?
You don't use that? You didn't use that before you left out?
Well, no, because it was optional wars, and I did not do them.
On that particular setup, it just shows the officers like, all right, here are my. So instead of you saying, "Hey, send me a screenshot of all your 6-stars and 5-star champs," in here you can kind of see their top 15-ish so champs that they have. You can mark them. You can set them in one aspect as far as defense. Here is my alliance quest team, and here's my usual AW questing team.
Gotcha. So when you joined, did the battle group officer ask you to fill that out?
No, I actually did it prior to joining. Okay. So you don't have to be an alliance to use it. You can set it beforehand, and then if someone wants to take a look at that, like say you're like not quite ready to be in the alliance yet, it's like the end of the season. It's a couple wars left, and then there's a week of AQ still to go, or a few days left in AQ when war season ends. You can talk, and then I think you can see that maybe beforehand. I'm not sure. But once I got in for sure, they could see it, and he was like, "All right, I want this defender, this defender, this defender, and this defender."
Sorry, small ice cubes. But yeah, no. So, and I guess my thing was like, I kind of want to see the whole roster, because what if there's duplicates? Like, I want to, kind of mix and match. But yeah, I mean, I think it works for the most part, and that's cool. So yeah, another thing that they're adding is path assignments that has not been started, but I do kind of look forward to that, because that'll be nice if it's anything, especially like battle group assignments, where it's just kind of highlighted and it shows you where to go, and if you try to go in the wrong one, it'll be like, are you sure you want to do that? If you're going down the wrong path and it asks you that, I think that'll be awesome. Or what was the other thing that we're gonna do, where you can kind of like replay it, like take a step back?
Yeah, they were talking about maybe possibly adding a backtrack or a backup or a redo button or something like that. Because I mean, that's happened to me before, where I was, scanning the map and seeing, like when I was an officer, I would scan the map to see who's moved where, and I've accidentally clicked the button next to the path that I didn't want to take as I was scanning. I'm like, oh man.
For sure. Absolutely. No, I've definitely been there too. So yeah, that will be cool. Especially just that added little safeguard, because I mean, at the end of the day, especially, you're map 6, right?
Yeah.
If somebody takes the wrong one at the end or in the middle,
Yeah,
it can be such a hassle.
If you end up doubling, and that's what it happened on the map 6 map. So me and another guy were on the same path, which left a path completely open.
Exactly.
Which kind of put my alliance. So I felt bad enough that I went and killed the boss for them. Link.
You just spent a couple items and just got it done.
Actually, not. I ended up. Yeah, I think I did one set of revives and a little bit of heal up, and I got it down.
At the end of the day, it was going down.
Yeah, it was going down by my hands since it was my jack up. Nobody else.
There you go. Yeah, no, I've been there for sure. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing that, and also like defender placements. I think that'll also be good. I think that's probably a lot harder to do, right? Because there's so many different nodes that you can put in there, right? So like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I can see that being tough. But have you heard? I mean, they say not started, so which means they probably haven't even talked about them. But you haven't heard much or anything other than in the CCP.
As far as
path assignments or defender assignments.
No, they really haven't talked more about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't think so.
We did that initial thing that kind of got told to the community that we were part of, and everyone's like, "Oh, why do they get to listen to all of that?"
Oh yeah, that one little presentation.
Yeah, well, we're in the program. We're kind of like the voice of you guys, and then we bring it back to you guys, and you let us know how you feel, and we'll take it back to command.
Yeah, there's a big problem with that in my eyes, but I get it. I get the idea and the principle of it.
They can't have 100,000 people just active all the time. So I mean, you make it a smaller, concentrated group, and you kind of go forward from there.
Yeah, fair. We'll digress. So this other thing that I saw here, that's starting development. So it's an AQ officer. So this feature focuses on alliance officers, a lot more control in organizing AQ events, and giving members a lot more time to view the map variations, bosses, and AQ modifiers. Will be available for them for that week. This feature that has passed its design phase and is currently in development. So, what? Oh, okay. So like, I don't understand. Like, you'll be able to see map variations, bosses, map modifiers.
Yeah. So let me see where we're at, because I got.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that. Can we not already see it, or is it something that's not going to go away? Like you'll see it throughout the whole week or something.
Which one are you looking at here? I'm sorry.
AQ officer starting development.
Okay, here we go. In development. Yeah, I had to find it.
On your little spreadsheet.
Feature focus on giving alliance officers a lot more control and AQ events. Yeah, so I think this is more of the pain point. So they did talk to a bunch of us in the CCP that had been or were officers, and they asked us like what some of our biggest issues were as officers, because as an officer, it's essentially an unpaid job.
Absolutely.
Moose, you've been a leader officer. I've been a leader officer. I don't know if a lot of our listeners are current leaders and officers, but you guys would probably agree that it feels like an unpaid job.
For sure.
It's a lot of cattle hurdling, a lot of planning. I remember that at one point in time when I was running Dorks 1, I was planning 2 BG's worth of an AQ. Did you drop out and come back?
I'm back. Are we? I think we're good.
Okay.
Something did happen, but I think
we're good. Something happened. So I was like, your picture went away, and then it came back. I was like,
yeah,
is it him or is it me? I don't know. So just I think they're looking at ways to take some of the pain points for an officer and giving them more tools. And I think that's about all I can say at this time. I know what the tools are.
Oh, okay.
I just can't say anything else.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, I look forward to seeing what they are, just because like you're saying, you know, it's an unpaid job. It's tough. It's difficult. Like part of the things, you know, part of the like kind of thing that I want to do now that I'm, you know, kind of stepping back as an officer or leader is, you know, kind of make tools for officers and leaders to make their job easier. Like I said, make their job easier. But so Jay Axe and I, we've been working on like making recruiting templates.
I've seen those.
Right.
You guys working on those.
Yeah, so like you just kind of go in, change the wording, you know, and you're good to go. So you know, as opposed to having design one or this or all that stuff. So, you know, and that's part of the thing that I want to do with that time. And yeah, there you go. Look, XN just made one with there. So awesome. But yeah, that's part of the stuff I want to do. So I'm interested to see what's going on with that. Exactly, to make their job easier because it's a tough one. But yeah, so the next thing on the list is the season 19 war refresh. So now that you've been, you know, you kind of, I don't know, you probably took a few seasons off in between and came back after some changes. I'm guessing you're not liking it.
War used to be one of my favorite modes in the game.
Okay.
And I took that break and I came back, and that's how I feel about War now.
Okay.
That is it quicker? Yes. I like that there's a lot less linked nodes, so it makes it easier to kind of move at your time. I don't necessarily have to wait on my co-partners to make a move on my path.
Yeah.
Except for when we have to meet at the, I don't know if you call those minis, if you call them those zone points. Bosses, yeah, those point bosses, whatever they are, you meet there at those points. And depending on the link node, you know, you might be like, I could take it linked.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely, I haven't done much war since it's changed. But the few wars that I did do, it definitely was nicer. Honestly, you just kind of go in, 2-3 times maybe in that like kind of 24-hour period.
Yeah, it's usually 3. Usually one time to clear my first section path, one time to clear my, I mean, I may go in and go look to see like what has happened, especially if I've been sitting somewhere where I don't have the counter, but one of my lane mates does have the counter if they took the fight yet. But outside of that, reality, once when it starts, usually I start it. I go to my path to give the guy a chance. So I go in 4 times. 1 time to get started, 1 time to clear my actual path, the 3rd time to go in to clear my second section, and then to do my fights on Boss Island, as everybody likes to call it.
For sure. Absolutely, yeah. So it's definitely not like time consuming, like you're saying. It is quicker. And 4 times, I mean, one of those times you're not really doing much. You're just kind of moving your energy, which, you know, yeah, or get the first guy or something like that. So yeah, that's, you know, it's definitely tolerable. And what tier are you guys in? You guys like
tier 3, 4. We kind of go back and forth between those 2.
So you guys do have those like kind of additional modifiers and things like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we face a lot of stubborn. That's the one thing I kind of hope they do fix. You know, if you faced stubborn 2 times earlier in that week, the 3rd time they can't. Whoever you play can't pick stubborn. They have to pick something else.
Okay.
I hope they put that in. There's no real talks of it, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, no, I think that would. I mean, it sounds. I mean, from doing a lot of the research and even just on the guest that we may have on eventually, but it seems like even just recalling times, you know, just bigger YouTubers, you know, people who are just kind of more high end in the game or whatever, just like going hard at the game. War is like a lot of, it's like one of those things. I think you either absolutely love it or you don't care. And it seems like the people who absolutely love it just don't love it anymore, but they're finding the kind of, what is it? Just that part where you're just kind of like a chess match kind of thing is still there. But I think at this point it is, like you're saying, it's becoming more of a chore. And so let's hoping that, I hope they change it. They got to, right? Well, I mean, so here the next thing says in design Alliance War Future. We're going through our initial design phase for Alliance War revamp. We're looking to completely restructure Alliance Wars to provide a more interesting experience for players to give, that doesn't make any sense, to give players more control over the challenges they create for each other and inject more strategy into the modes so each war does not feel as repetitive. So let's see.
So I guess it is being talked about. Maybe that's.
So yeah, that would be cool. You know, I guess, yeah, if it is exactly more of like a chess match where, yeah, maybe you choose, you know, kind of you choose what your map's going to have, maybe which modifier your map's going to have as opposed to that. And you can only do it for like a month or something like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. That could be cool. Like, there's definitely, that's the thing. I think there's so much you can do. I mean, I guess it's probably difficult, really, right? Because you have to rewrite the whole thing, and it would be essentially a different kind of gameplay. If you were to change it enough to, you know, like at this point, they're just kind of changing a few things here and there. If you wanted, like they're saying, revamp the whole thing, you got to like essentially make a whole new gameplay. With all the other stuff they're doing, I feel like that's a difficult task. So I feel like with all these revamps and stuff, hopefully they can bring in some parts that do make it more fun, because I know that that's a pain point for a lot of people going even just casual. You know, if they're in Alliance, that's kind of high up there, but they're going to do some quests because it helps the whole round. But really, when war is not fun, it does just seem like a lot of people just kind of just back out, essentially.
In war has not, honestly. It was fun right before I left, or when I was right. So before I was thinking about taking the break, it was fun before then.
Mm-hmm.
I remember right when I was gearing to take a break, I remember thinking, "Thank God this season's over." And
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because I was an officer at the time,
Yeah.
or what, but it was just like it wasn't fun for me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I mean, with the new, you know, like you're saying, they're coming out with some new tools. Like they're saying here, with battle officers and all that stuff. Hopefully it's, you know, like a quality of life for officers that they're going for. That's definitely needed, and hopefully it works and is as intended, because that seems to be something that doesn't work for them. It's how things are intending.
Cool.
So yeah, so this was a conversation I actually did want to have with you, because we kind of we grazed over it recently as far as AQ Map 7 and just kind of how people are kind of, more people are getting into it because more people have hopped into like the top 500 in Alliance Quest. But so they did redo Map 7 and it's rebalanced. Have you guys done any Map 7?
My current Alliance does not do Map 7.
Okay. Do you guys is there any chatter about it?
I tried to talk them into it. But it's just that, and then mainly when I mean try to talk them into it, just me and my alliance leader chat on the side about doing Map 7, and he's like, well, you know, how does it work for, you know, Dorks, because the main Dorks Alliance runs Map 7. I was like, oh, they do about 4 times a week on the Epic modifier, on the Legendary modifier. And they get the 2% T5 CC per day that they do it at the end, so they get 8%. He's like, "Oh, well, that'd be cool." And then my first week there, we struggled to get Map 6 done. I'm like, on like 2 days. I was like, never mind.
Yeah,
It won't work because if we don't 100%, if you don't 100% it, you don't get it.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, so that makes sense, but exactly, I think that there's a lot of people. Has been recently. I mean, I know in just 2 AQ series that like at least maybe 100 alliances have jumped into like the 500, the top 500, or at least the top maybe 400 or something like that.
Yeah,
because we
definitely have
like 100
4
spots.
alliances doing Map 7.
Yeah.
Maybe ones that I think maybe because their prestige is a little bit lower. I think sometimes they may be overstepping, but they're getting it done. So
yeah, for sure. And I think that's just, I don't know, it's definitely, you know, like how kind of war changed recently, and there was a lot of people going not to war to AQ. Now there's a lot of people going into, you know, kind of like Map 7. So but you know, I mean, they did revamp it, so I haven't looked into it much because I've been kind of going back away from alliances, but it does seem like there's a lot more people going towards it. So I would assume that there will be eventually some like a Map 8 or something coming soon. When's the last time the Doctor Doom was the last time they kind of had the season change? And there's no real actual like time frame on those, isn't there?
It's not like a timer like you would see for war,
Yeah.
but there is a time. Like I forget what season we're in AQ, but it's a different season.
It's like 7.5 or something.
Yeah, something weird.
Yeah, because they did that revamp halfway through during the summer here. But yeah, so I mean, we'll look to see kind of what changes and what's coming to that. So seeing that, but we did kind of talk about it a little bit. But they did say the undo button is in development, so that's cool that it is in development, and we are going to hopefully see it soon.
So it's always a plus.
Yeah. With that, and the fact that they're going to have path assignments is, they haven't started it yet, but I think, definitely, I think undoing it is, like a precursor to being able to, assign paths. So making steps in the right direction. Cool beans. Help all. We've all had that little debacle the last, 3 weeks or so where you couldn't help anybody. I'm sure instead of saying delayed, that was supposed to say released, right?
Yeah. Is anybody else having that issue?
The other day, I think yesterday, I just, kind of not thinking, just started helping everybody, and it didn't shut my phone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down, so
I think they found the glitch in that system.
Yeah. So that really does need to come, because I'm tired of talking about it. It just needs to happen because it's such a painful part of the game. I would assume it's a painful part for them too.
Yeah, but I do know that there are people out there who are chirping that they would, instead of having a help all or asking for help for your champs, that it just gets auto help. Exactly. Yeah. And just does it on its own. But then at that point, do they take away the loyalty that we get daily from that? Because that 7,000 loyalty a week is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we had a chat about that once where it was like, okay, cool, like, so what's the point of having auto help if you're just like, you got to press a button still? So is it not really auto help? And okay, so you're getting rid of that, so you get rid of loyalty. But yeah, no. So I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you just got to push a button and help somebody. So they definitely, I feel like they just need to rework that whole thing, because obviously all their attempts, and I feel like they've been working on the help all button for a very long time.
Well, I think initially it was in the game at the very, very, very early part of the game, and it used to crash the servers.
That's what I'm saying.
And so they want to be very, I mean, we already have enough issues. We don't want to add too many more new ones.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they just need to just scrap the whole help system and come up with something else that's not so server, like, conducive.
Yeah. So like the ideal of just not having the help button there at all. But then again, do they do that and take away the 7,000 loyalty we get a week from it?
Or if it's just, I help. It's only like I do one help a day. And that helps for whatever I get. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think they need to revamp the whole system, because it's obviously not working. Whatever they're doing with it.
I agree. It seems to cause more issues than actual help.
And wasting time.
Yeah. Because now I got to go through it. Click help, click help, click help, click help, click help. I got to do that a minimum of 25 times to get my 1,000 loyalty. And then do it more to help people in the alliance. Right now, my alliance is at 371 helps. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, who needs that? Like,
for sure.
A lot of help for people at a time.
Exactly. And I mean, and obviously just the time wasted in them talking about it, developing it, coding it breaking, strapping it, coding it. It's like, come on, just figure it out. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. And then AQ future says in design. So link nodes rework, energy rework, and raid bosses. So we already did kind of get some energy rework, which I think it's great. I don't really know how much more energy you need in map 6. If you kind of have people, maybe on a slow day or something, you can get it done in almost 12 hours.
Nice, because starting at 4 instead of 3 and having 6 instead of 5. I didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference, but having those there makes so much more of a difference.
I'm sorry, having what where? I'm sorry, man.
Having the starting at 4 instead of 3 when you start the AQ map, and starting at or having a total of 6 energy instead of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, steal Doom from all is what Corey Gunn said that you should have.
Oh, Corey.
But yeah, no, I totally agree.
That's why you missed what I said. You were too busy copying this and screenshot this for
exactly. And it also did kind of like go out, but yeah, no, I definitely think that the having 6 and the 45-minute and starting with 4 is a huge change. I mean, we got to section 3 a lot before I went to bed, and I'm on the West Coast, so that's always good. It's always good stuff. So I don't really know how much energy more you could rework. So we'll look to see how that comes, huh?
Yeah, I get in there early. I get to jump in when AQ starts usually. Get my path going on lunch break. And then when I'm done with work, I come back in there, usually finishing off whatever's left on our path because I have a long path, so I run it with somebody. And then I get home and I hop on my path when I get home in section 2. And by the time I go to bed, I'm using the last of my energy there to almost finish out completely section 2. So by the time we all wake up in the morning, section 3 is open, and it's just been that part has been a nice change because I remember waking up to finish section 2
and that's rough.
to go on to section 3.
Yeah, and that's rough.
Because then you're organizing to make sure everybody's running together.
Exactly. It's not that it's rough. I guess it was just more to do in the morning as opposed to, everybody run their path and then just kind of make sure, all the little, holes get filled.
Right.
So it has been nice for sure. So, any additional, I guess, energy rework if it's,
I don't think
it's good.
If they add more to it, I don't know how much more they could add to it.
Exactly.
I think I thought 30-minute times would have been the way they would have went, but that probably would have been too much time. And I like the idea of where they went 45 minutes with a total of 6 energy versus 5.
Yeah, no, I think the energy is cool. It's definitely sufficient. It does what I think it's intended to do. There's still that kind of you have to come in here and there and help out, but you don't have these people who are mooching, because I think if you have too far of a gap for something like that, there's too much that can go wrong where they forget and then they just don't come in. So I think for map 6, I think if you did any more, it could be rough, unless you were getting rid of like link nodes and stuff like that.
Right.
Because then that changes everything. But yeah. So look forward to seeing what's coming with there. But the other thing on the roadmap was champions. They reworks and things like that. I remember, they were talking about kind of doing 4 champions a month or 2 champs a month or something like that.
2 champs a month.
Yeah. But they're definitely kind of ramping it up. I am looking forward to the new Daredevil. However, it's frustrating that they're not doing both Daredevils. But
yeah, I wish they would do both, because I did pull that 6-star OG Daredevil.
Yeah, I just got a 6-star one too, somewhere along the lines. But yeah, so as far as all the reworks, I thought they've been pretty good. They got both Magnetos. Both Magnetos are serve their purposes. Obviously, Red Magnetos is awesome.
Yeah, but he's also now a little bit more of a pain to fight if you don't bring. Yeah. If you bring a metal, you're like. Before if you brought a metal, before the rework, if you brought a metal champion, he's like, it's Magneto, whatever.
Yeah.
Now he's a lot more annoying.
For sure.
A fight with metal champs makes you think a little bit before you walk in there with your, and then the changes to the metal champs. So like Corvus Glaive, I don't think was metal beforehand. He's metal now. So,
which is interesting. All the people that they decided to choose in there. I mean, I'm sure they had the reasoning and things like that. But
here's how they decided it: if your metal was something that you could put down, such i.e. swords, you're not metal. If you wore it as armor, you're metal.
Maestro, he's got a whole metal suit.
Who?
Maestro. Maestro. There you go.
Oh, Maestro. Okay. Yeah,
Maestro. At the end of the day, I thought it was cool that he was included in the as a boss.
He should be metal. Yeah, he should be metal, but he's not.
I mean, he's got a hammer, he's got a shield, he's got swords, he's got all kinds of metal on him. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool that he was in the as Event Quest as a boss, eh? Kind of a pain, but cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to think, like, where is he at as a boss? I had to think back, like, oh yeah, he was there as a boss in Act 2.
The second chapter there.
Yeah, I was like, where was he as a boss? Then I thought about, like, oh yeah, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we haven't fought this dude since, I guess Labyrinth. Yeah, would be the last time most of us fought him.
Yeah, I felt like he was in there somewhere.
He was
in the Convention Clash?
I think so.
He was in the Convention Clash.
Was he?
Yeah. I didn't even do it.
Oh, I didn't do the Convention Clash. No, because I didn't do it. That's why I don't know about it.
That's fair. All right. Well, you host a podcast, so you should know. Anyways. All right. So the Punisher 2099 revamp. I mean, that one I think was, I guess went over well. You're not as sad when you get them now, right? Okay. All right.
Say
and
then
again. What?
Say again.
Oh, did it not come through? Punisher 2099. You're not as sad when you get him.
No, you're definitely still sad.
I mean, you're sad, just not as sad.
No, he's definitely still not good.
Okay.
Some of the reworks were really great. Some of them were a swing and a miss, and he was definitely.
Gonna say, I mean, I don't know really how many were a swing and a miss. I feel like Falcon and Gambit. Falcon's great.
Falcon's definitely much better. Gambit was definitely a lot better.
Yeah. But Punisher 29 and White Mags, I guess.
Hurt so much. That one hurts so much.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. But yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing what's kind of going in the future. Definitely. So we're getting Daredevil's the next one. There's no other ones in the works, right?
Daredevil will be the next one. Usually there's two.
Right.
We don't know.
Christmas and all this stuff coming up, so.
Yeah, with everything going and then, so we don't know what they all got planned.
Yeah. So part of the other champ reworks or on the roadmap that they were talking about was dual crystals, just kind of crystal reworks, right? So dual crystals, that was a thing that they added, which are awesome. And even the 4-star ones I think are great too, because, I think on my alt account I can target one of those dual crystals and hopefully get more ISO. Because it's really hard to dupe champs these days with how many there are. Was there like 190 champs in the game now?
It's a ton of champs.
Yeah. So duping a champ is super difficult these days. But yeah, so they did that. And then the future hero crystals, they said they released the improvements there. So what it was featured hero crystals are very subjective, but we feel that the more recent ones have been an improvement over the ones that came out in late 2019. We will continue to work on keeping these crystals relevant and interesting for players who want the newest release champions. What the hell did they change?
They didn't change much on that, I don't think.
I was going to say, I don't know what they changed. Maybe Grandmaster crystals and Cavaliers or premium hero crystals adding the Nexus?
I think adding the Nexus was one of it, changing the type of, like the ability to pull the type of crystal.
Yeah.
So if you spin a 5-star, there's a chance that you'll get a 5-star Nexus crystal.
Fair enough. Yeah. That'll be cool. See what happens there. And then, so the other thing was the Wish Crystal. Looking forward to, that says it's in design. So, basically you just kind of get to fill what you want with it, right? And then you'll get that. And then it'll get out of that. So looking forward to that. Do you have any news or insider news on the Wish Crystal?
No, I haven't heard much more about it since the release.
Okay.
Of the original of this particular dev diary. But it seems interesting. But I think the Wish Crystal is still going to be more based on, obviously RNG is always going to be RNG, and you're going to put in so you're going to put in X amount of champs from each class, I think, right? So I don't want people to get overhyped about it because it's still going to fall. So like for me, it's like Nick Fury is one of my big chases. So Nick Fury will be one of my skill champs, but then you're putting in like 4 other skill champs, and then 5 of each other class, right? From your list of wish. So you're getting
however they kind of make it.
Yeah, but you gotta, like for me, who's someone who's looking to grab Nick Fury for a very particular reason, I may or may not still get him out of this wish crystal.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, it does seem like it'll be more of a, less of a heartache, I guess, because you are putting the champ in there. Yeah. So at the end of the day, hey, if it's a swing and a miss, you get a whole bunch of ISO or maybe shards or something like that.
Champ that you still want, you just don't get the one you were really looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking forward to seeing how that happens. And then the last thing on the champ ones, other than, kind of just other reworks and stuff, but we're getting long here, so we'll start tying it up. But signature stone availability, there's been a lot more of those, yeah? Have you noticed a lot more of those?
A lot of generics.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I took 3 more out of my overflow today. Generics.
Yeah, for sure.
More.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, so I've definitely noticed a lot more of those. And it does seem like they're still also going to be changing things as far as like probably the sigil. I would assume, you only get like 1 out of those or something. And then just like solo objectives, they definitely been kind of amping the objectives on those and signature stones in there. So hopefully we do continue to see some more of those. Absolutely. But then, yeah, so the last, there's a couple little bits here. Well, yeah, there's a couple more bits too. Like on the roadmap here was the contest evolved. So sell from a stash. Have you used that often?
Yeah, like the lower rank up material.
Yeah.
Like tier 2, tier 1 catalyst. I'll use that on the base ones and sell them out. I haven't had to really use them on the ISO yet because I've just had champs that can constantly keep ranking up for the level up event. So I haven't ran into that issue yet. I'm hoping to add a few more new champs to the roster by the end of the month.
There you go.
So I'll continue not to have that issue.
There you go. Cool. And then the other thing, champ tag filtering. I mean, I think that was cool. It's nicer, I guess, when you're kind of scrolling through the champs. Like we said, there's 190 champs now. So
I can make it persistent when in run arena.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so dual targets, it's always been a little easier, which probably takes a lot of load off people like, MCoC Turkos and Joanna, the people who run that, because those are always difficult to keep up with. So nice that they've gotten those in the game. Makes it a little easier. Let's see, the route. So that was one of the new mechanics that was added to this game. And then it was funny, when I was going over the radio show, so it's like MCoC Journal had it in as part of Abomination. But it's not. It's like part of the game. Like as we were talking about, you were like, I was disappointed that it wasn't like in the game, and that it was added to a champ, but it was added to the game as opposed to a champ. So, how have you been kind of working with it?
The one yesterday I liked a lot, but that was also because it was basically Corvus food.
Yeah, for sure.
So it made it really easy. Once you understand the route itself, then you can figure out when it's going to be beneficial to you, or when it won't hinder you as much than it would if at other times.
Yeah. So exactly. I think since this is kind of this is our new introduction to route, I think this is kind of the easiest way we're going to be dealing with route. But I think it's going to be pretty tough.
I bet you book 2 will have root in it.
It's going to be tough, for sure. And then, like, one of the other mechanics that they were talking about adding and was in design was this, what was it called? It was volume trigger gameplay mechanic. So they have that in development, which I don't know why they name it that, because it's like, it says area of effect. And more or less what it is and how I kind of understand it was, how you have that little, like, kind of ring around you when you're rooted?
Yeah.
Well, I think what's going to happen is they're going to have more of those little rings, kind of placed on like the arena, right? While you're fighting, and if you go over it, you can regen. What if you get rooted on that? You're regenning, right? Or if you get rooted on one, I think spiked wall was one of their examples, which I'm sure is just going to like degen you or something like that. You get rooted on that. So that's the thing. When I see root, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, exactly. This isn't too difficult to deal with at the moment. However, I see in the future, it does look like it's going to be quite the pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a cool mechanic. It's got me a couple times. Vision's heavy got me for sure. Because, you know, normally you just kind of swipe away once and you're far enough away.
You're far enough away that you don't have to worry about the second hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's those big heavies. You know, it's the rooted heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was getting me. But it's fun. It's cool. It's adding an extra little fun kind of bit to the game. JX doesn't like it for sure. I mean, I know there's some that I was like, oh gosh, I forgot about that. But yeah, I guess it makes things not as routine, right? For those of you like you and I guess who things are routine. But if you're building your account, I can see it how it sucks.
It can suck a little bit.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's some stuff going on there. Fight replays is on pause, which I could imagine, you know, thank God, because, you know, if the help button's crashing things, I could imagine fight replays doing the same.
Yeah.
And then strikers. That was another mechanic that I find is going to be interesting at working, kind of like with this root mechanic and like these, you know, kind of the triggers and things like that. Strikers. Have you heard any more information on that being in the CC?
I haven't heard anything more about strikers. Nope.
Okay. But that was one where it was kind of like they were showing us in the roadmap. It was a quick little GIF about, you know, like you're tag teaming a partner coming in and hitting them a few times and then kind of backing out. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, right? It could always be fun. I hope it's not every time your champ comes in, they, you know, break the system, right? Shut your phone down.
Right. That's the thing you don't want.
Exactly. Yeah, so looking forward to all those changes. Looking forward to them because it's adding a different level to the game. Not looking forward to them to seeing what they're going to be doing with them, because at the end of the day, I feel like there are going to be some nodes and stuff that are just going to suck with some rooting and things like that. So we'll see. Some other stuff was incursions. So other than, you know, they did kind of do that recent revamp, which was nice, you know, store update and things like that. Themed bosses, adding those Ultrons and then the 2 boss pickups that you can get. But some other things they have, new hacks. People think that they may be nerfing buff cornucopia. Do you think that may be happening?
I don't know how they could nerf it because it's just what it is. It's called buff cornucopia. It's supposed to
maybe just take some of the things out.
Buff, right? I feel like if they do anything, maybe change the amount of time. Because like I always feel like I get like physical resistance more than anything else.
For sure. Yeah,
so maybe it's the time that what you get and how you get. Like when I need regen, I never get regen. It's kind of like Scarlet Witch. When you need regen from her, it never procs, but at the beginning or the end of the fight.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah, so looking forward to seeing that. I hope they don't buff it, or I hope they don't nerf it. I hope they just kind of add some more stuff because I mean incursions are fun, and they are definitely more fun. Speaking of incursions, we have our tournament coming up in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yep. And if you have not signed up yet and you want to be a part of it, Moose will give you the link in his YouTube page. You can also come to the MC Lounge on Discord and find it pinned there. As well as you can come find me online or on Discord, and I can get you set up with the link as well. We're looking for at least 64 teams, but we're not wanting to stop at 64 teams. We want as many teams as possible because the seeding round will allow as many teams as possible to be a part of it. But just the top 64 will get added to the bracket and their seeding area as well. So there, Moose just dropped the link there on the current Discord podcast chat. So for those of you who want to be a part of that, definitely be a part of it. Should be fun. And we'll talk more about that next week's show, as we've already ran way over on time today.
I was going to say, this has been quite the long show for us. But yeah, I mean, they've done some other arena stuff, which, maybe we can pop in and talk about as they come. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten into quite a bit of this stuff on this show, but yeah, definitely tune in somewhere. Sorry, somewhere. Fool just says 4:20 somewhere. It's 4:20 in Central Time. So,
or somewhere it's 4:20 a.m. There you go.
But yeah, so next week we are going to be doing a show on incursions. Oh, and you know what? I totally didn't do a giveaway. I just totally remembered that. I was like, what do I normally do at the end of a show?
Also, it's my birthday. That exact day that we'll be doing the show live will be my birthday.
Oh, that's right, Sunday. Another birthday drop. Birthday episode. That's gonna be a fun episode. Man.
As often as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's gonna be a fun episode, man. Birthday incursions, all kinds of stuff. Next week. There we go. Cool. Awesome. All right. So I think that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us on this very long episode, actually, for us. But I enjoyed it. It was a good chat, man. And, I think that this whole roadmap thing is good. I think they should do it more often. Cool, man. Any final thoughts? What are you working on the rest of this week?
This week, like I said, we'll probably do a crystal opening this evening. Today, as far as MCoC is concerned, that'll probably be it. So that video will probably drop tomorrow. And then Wednesday will be my normal stream. I'll get back into Cavalier difficulty, doing some exploration there, what I haven't finished up, hopefully finishing that up. And then Saturday's usually my day that I run my incursions with Optimus. Yeah. But we may do that Friday for my special birthday stream on Friday, because Saturday I'm going to be doing a stream with the People's Champ, doing is not necessarily with him, but we're doing something for somebody in the community, a fundraiser for them to kind of help them out in their time of need. So I'm going to be free that Saturday evening. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. So we'll do that there.
For sure. Yeah, no, I will be a part of that as well. Donating crystals and stuff.
There we go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on Saturday. We'll have some XN probably. I don't know. We'll probably even just tie that in, because I don't know. I think I might be the guest next week for XN. Maybe you can correct me on that one. But yeah, so lots of stuff this week. We got Chillin with Moo00se. Alliance News will also be back on Wednesday. XN. Am I the next guest on XN interviews, Nick? Yeah. Okay. So I will be the next guest next Saturday night, which will probably tie that into June's thing as well, the People's Champ. So yeah, more news coming in on that. But yeah, lots of stuff. We got the MC Lounge, the template that JX helped us with as well, helped me with. It's been fun. So everybody check that out. Check out the website, themclounge.bar /incursions, or just go to the mclounge.bar. There'll be incursions on the menu, at the bar, at the top. You got posters, all that stuff. So you'll also be able to catch up on all the shows on all those pages. So cool. Awesome. Yes, definitely. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. That did hang out on my YouTube and popped in and said hello here and there. And everybody that was in on our Discord, always appreciated. Yep. Everybody have an awesome rest of your Sunday, and thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
Oh, you probably can't hear the music.
Definitely can't hear the music.
Here, let me see if I can change it.
Happy grinding out there. May the RNG be kind.
No, too late. Sorry, been a long show, man. Oh, now we can't hear anything. He just go. No, the DC shirt is needed. You're back? You can't hear me? We can hear you. The bat is dead? No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. What's up? Oh, awesome.
I was just talking to everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was just showing why I don't have my video camera on lately. A lot of times I'm